Hey, what's up, everybody? Coming to you today with another 2020 boxing award. And, you know, this is, we're about 3 boxing awards left to go. I did 2 last weekend, and this is one of the ones I did. This is the 2020 Fight of the Year. We're going to break down the top 5 for Fight of the Year. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head which ones they were for a second. But anyways, let's jump in. Let's start with my 2-way tie for 5th. The first one, well, first off, guys, if you like my videos, please hit the like button. I appreciate it. Thumbs down if you don't like it. It helps. Make comments. Subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate any kind of support. And comments and feedback, even if they're bad ones. That's true boxing, by the way. Also, yeah, so the boxing, you know, for Fight of the Year, it was a lot. My criteria is back and forth action mainly. You know, obviously the bigger the fight, the better, you know, it's going to be. But back and forth action for me is huge. I think going back and forth, close, competitive fight really matters. And the bigger the fight, the better. You know, but obviously the action itself, you know, how good the back and forth action was. So let's jump in. We go 2-way tie for 5th. The first is Jaime versus Turiano Johnson. That took place on, what was it, in October. I believe it was the day before Halloween. They fought on a Friday night. And ended up being a really, really good fight. These two went at it toe-to-toe, back and forth, and they were throwing bombs. I mean, coming in, Munguia, undefeated, champ at 154. He was the champ at 154. You know, he was fighting in his second fight at 160, trying to move up the ladder, make a name for himself, taking on a solid-ass veteran in Turiano Johnson that likes to trade. So I knew this was going to be a slugfest, and it was. It didn't disappoint. These guys were going toe-to-toe for 6 rounds. I had a dead even, but in the 5th or 6th round, Munguia landed a wicked uppercut that split open Turiano Johnson's lip. His bottom lip, split it completely open. It was a bad one. That cut was probably about that big. I mean, huge cut. And the doctor ruled that, what's his name, Johnson couldn't continue. So Munguia won by 6th round TKO. But tough loss, but a great, great action fight. And that one ties for 5th. Also tying for 5th is Javonte Davis against Leo Santa Cruz. They competed trying to basically... They had 2 belts on the line. It was kind of a unification bout, but it was for titles in 2 different weight classes. They fought at 130 pounds officially, but because they were under the 135 limit and Davis has a secondary title at 135, that belt from lightweight was on the line as well as Santa Cruz's belt at 130, junior lightweight. So these 2 guys went at it. It was it took place in a main event of a pay-per-view card, Showtime pay-per-view card on Halloween night. And, yeah, I mean, this ended up being just a really good back-and-forth action fight. They were going at it the whole time. You know, Davis would impose his size and his will on Santa Cruz and was landing some good shots. But Santa Cruz was fighting him off and even backed Davis up a few times, even though he was technically the smaller man. And it was just really good. And through 5 rounds, they were going toe-to-toe, and Davis was ahead on all 3 scorecards by 1 round. It was 3 rounds to 2. Heading into the 6th, all action-packed again until Davis landed a wicked fucking uppercut on Santa Cruz that knocked him out cold in the 6th round. And Davis captured the belt at 130, kept the belt at 135. Big time win. A lot of action here. This didn't finish higher because it ended earlier on. You know, it wasn't, you know, it didn't have any knockdowns prior to it and stuff like that. Like, that does matter. But, I mean, it was a good fight, though. Really a lot. And, you know, I don't, if somebody has it higher, I don't mind that. But that finished tied for 5th. In 4th is Vargas and Mikey Garcia when they fought in February when they main evented a DAZN card. Heading into this one, you know, Mikey, the former 4-division world champion, but was still trying to make a name for himself at 147 amidst all the experts and even his his brother and corner and management team that were telling him he doesn't belong at 147. You know, he got his ass whipped against Errol Spence in March of 2019, and you know, heading into the year, he wanted to prove that he really belonged. So he's taking on a former 2-division champ and Jesse Vargas, who was competing at 154 in his previous bout and came back down to 147 for the big fight with Mikey. Really good, kind of tight tempo swinging fight. I mean, you had Vargas was winning. It was competitive, but he was winning more of the early rounds, and then Mikey in the 5th round, I believe, landed a wicked left hook that put Vargas down hard and looked like Mikey might finish him, but Vargas weathered the storm. But Mikey seemed to take the fight over in the middle rounds, but it was still competitive, but Mikey seemed to be bringing in the points. Then it went to the championship rounds, and Vargas found a second win and started pressing Mikey some more, and it actually ended up being a really good fight down the stretch, and they went to the scorecards where Mikey took a very close unanimous decision and walked away with his first win at 147, but a big win at 147 to really prove that he does belong at least in the top 10 at 147. So we'll see, but nice win for him. Finishing number 3 is Jose Ramirez versus Victor Postal, as they competed for Ramirez's unified WBC and WBO 140-pound titles. Heading into the fight, Ramirez, this was a mandatory fight for him against the former champion Postal, and a lot of people were expecting, myself included, for Ramirez to be too much for Postal, to wear him down and get a decision, or to knock him out in the late rounds. That's what I picked. But I did feel it would be competitive, at least into the middle to later rounds. But, you know, these two guys, you know, Ramirez also had the, you know, the projected fight for Undisputed against Josh Taylor on the horizon, and he might have been looking to that, but it ended up being a really good, somewhat of a chess match, as Postal's more of a boxer puncher, but he did very well counter-punching while Ramirez pressed the action. It was a really good, close fight down the stretch, and it went to the scorecards. Really good physical action for 2 titles at 140, and Ramirez walked away with a very close majority decision to retain his unified belts and push forward towards possibly an undisputed title fight. But Victor Postal proved that he can still do it at 36, and he needs to get more opportunities. I hope he does. I hope he doesn't get cast out still as a boogeyman, and he can really get back in the mix, but we'll see. Okay, finishing number 2 was Masayoshi Nakatani and Felix Verdejo. They fought in December on an ESPN card, on an undercard actually, and this ended up being just a great fucking fight between these two. These guys, Verdejo started off really good early, put Nakatani down like twice, I think, early on in the first or second round, and looked like he had him out. He looked like he was going to knock him out. This was going to be his biggest win, and he was going to put himself possibly in title contention with that win. And he looked good. He was moving side to side. He was boxing well, and through 5 rounds, it was somewhat of a one-sided fight. Nakatani was competitive, and he was landing good shots, but he just wasn't winning, and it didn't even look like he was coming close to winning. But after the 5th round, heading into the 6th and 7th rounds, you could tell Verdejo was getting tired. He was running out of gas. He was slowing down, and the very tall and long Nakatani was landing his right hands and body shots, and he was catching Verdejo more and more. And then, you know, Verdejo just looked like he was trying to hold on, but he was still landing good shots, and they really went at it the last, like, 3 rounds the fight lasted. But in the 9th round, he was done, and Nakatani came out and stopped him and proved that he, you know, is a legitimate lightweight contender, and is willing to dig deep to get a win. So, you know, big time win right there. It was a really good action fight, and that was number 2. But number 1 with a bullet, without any fucking doubts in my mind, it goes to Jose Zepeda and Ivan Barianchek for their final eliminator at 140 pounds, or the winner would be in line to fight for the WBC title at some point. Heading in, this was really a toss-up 50-50 fight. I mean, that's what it was being looked at. You had Zepeda, who more of a boxer at 140 than a power puncher, and was looking, you know, after 2019 where he almost beat Jose Ramirez for the WBC belt, came up just short, and then beat Jose Pedraza impressively, was looking to capitalize off of that year. Excuse me. And then Barianchik, who lost his title in the World Boxing Super Series semifinal to Josh Taylor, but fought hard, was coming in trying to prove that, you know, he still belonged. And both guys just went at it. I mean, what a fight. Barianchik, between these two guys in 5 rounds, they traded 8 knockdowns, and it was 4 apiece. And it was just back and forth, back and forth. Just when you thought Barianchik had Zepeda hurt badly early, Zepeda knocked Barianchik down. Just when you thought Zepeda was taking the fight over, or was gonna possibly knock Barianchik out, or was boxing him, Barianchik would score a knockdown or rally and swing the tide back. But when it looked like Barianchik might, in the 5th round, have Zepeda on his last legs and ready to be knocked out, Zepeda landed a monster left hand down the middle that dropped Barianchik hard. He actually folded back on his knee, and you know, looked like he could have hurt that, but he got knocked out cold. Big time punch and knockout victory for Jose Zepeda, as that was my 2020 fight of the year. You know, that let Zepeda in as the #1 contender. He's now going to get a 3rd crack at a world title at some point. Not sure who it's going to be against, you know, because I really don't think the winner of Ramirez and Taylor would want to fight him, but we'll see. But yeah, huge win for Zepeda right there, as he proved that he is truly worthy of a top 3, top 4 junior lightweight or junior welterweight at 140. And yeah, hopefully more things to come from him. Barianchik, no shame in the way he lost, being knocked out like that, because he was coming right for Zepeda and he just got caught, you know. And really great fight between the two. It was 5 rounds of hell, and I'm so glad I was able to watch it. Go check it out. Zepeda versus Barianchik. That's my 2020 fight of the year from True Boxing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You've been here with the Truth.